I'm Mary Belknap. My husband is Dale. Uh, we have been members here at Emmanuel for 67 years. Excuse me, 57 years. And we have three sons, Scott, Mike, and Stephen. All three of the boys were raised here at Emmanuel and were confirmed here. We moved to Beaverdale, and Norman and Becky Cooper were our neighbors, and they invited us to come to Emmanuel. And so we came and we enjoyed. Um, that was right after after the new sanctuary was finished. So we have seen lots of changes.
60 years.
60 years. And how did you come to Emmanuel?
Well, the church that I moved from was a Methodist church out on the south side on McKinley, and it was pastored by the gentleman that was the first pastor at Emmanuel. And when he found out I was moving to the north side of Des Moines, he said, "You must go to Emmanuel." So I said, "Okay."
First of all, it's a wonderful event. A bazaar is a gathering of individual of members making and selling things through the that we have worked on through the years. We have different booths for all of the different categories: Christmas, crafts, quilts, all of that. And then also for food. And Emmanuel's always been known for their food and their pies. That is the number one thing here. I understand that they started bazaars in the 1930s, and it sounds like they kind of did the same thing that we did. I'm most familiar with the bazaar that we did in 1976. Nancy McClyman was our chair, and I was the treasurer. And Pat and I were the cooks. We kind of that's what we were assigned, right?
Yeah.
We raised $8,500. Nancy had looked that up, and today it would be the equivalent of $48,000.
Oh my Lord.
Yes, it's wonderful. Well, and then the reason that we did all of this was to raise money to purchase different items and in the church. But what we did was that the ladies would come to the church on Mondays, usually bring their sack lunch, and we would each one of us had our own particular things that we were interested in doing. And if you were going to work on crafts or you're going to do Christmas things, quilting, whatever. And we just had a great time. And it was wonderful. And the friendships that you made, we have still today.
Enjoyed working in the kitchen. Bean store. I'll let this lady tell it because she tells it better than me.
Okay.
That it was funny and
And
kind
sad.
of a hilarious thing.
Well, Pat and I seemed to be the ones who had to make the beef burgers, and we were in charge of making the soups. We usually had about 3 soups because our bazaars were 2 days, and so we would make the beef burgers in the soup. I think I normally bought about 30 pounds of hamburger, and we cooked that up for the beef burgers. And then Pat and I would try and decide, which of the 3 soups we would, or what soups we would make. Well, we made ham and bean soup on Thursday, and it just tasted wonderful. And so we said, well, that'll be good. We'll get it out in the morning. And so come Friday morning, we went to the refrigerator, we opened the door, and you cannot believe the horrible smell. We don't know what happened, but we think we probably didn't let it cool down enough before we put it in the refrigerator. But we had to work very quickly to get another soup together.
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster. It was a disaster. But we laughed about it and we went on and we got it done.
Sometimes